fun boat to drive. You know, from today, I was having an absolute ball in it. It's a really soft ride, you know, punching into the swell and chop, like you don't really feel anything. So this is the Veitch 23 center console. We've been making it or developing it for probably 2 years now. Doing this center console early was something that I wanted to do because I love center consoles. I think they're a heap of fun, wind in your hair, you know, a bit of spray in your face, and great fun to fish out of. And for me, it was a really good boat to do, to really test the hull and make sure we had the hull right before we built the hardtop, which is really what this boat's going to be about, because there's a lot of pressure riding on that boat. You know, everyone wants to be on that boat, so we're going to get it right. And this was a part of the development of that boat, really. We really wanted to make a better priced boat than the 27. You know, the 27, early days of the 27, my goal was to bring it in under 3.5 tonne, and we just didn't do that. You know, the 27 it's a 4.2 tonne boat. So the 23 is something that are gonna be able to tow behind your Land Cruiser or your Hilux. You know, and it's gonna start around 100 grand cheaper than the 27. So it's a more realistic boat for a lot of us that can't afford a 27, myself included. When we started developing the 23, we took a 27 hull. We cut 1300 mil off the back of it. One of my apprentices, Hamish, took to it with a chainsaw, straight up, chopped the back off it. We rolled it over and we bonded a heap of foam to the bottom of the hull and built the back of the boat out straight again, because it was effectively just a bow. So we needed to bring the bottom of the boat back. We put a straight keel on it and like a really straight running section on it. So it's actually straighter on the bottom than the 27, which, you know, it makes the boat run probably a little bit harder and faster in the flat. It's never gonna run as well as the 27 does in really bad seas, but in that sort of more reasonable, the stuff we fish in, the stuff we actually go out in and use, it's pretty perfect. The boat has all the same DNA as the 27. It's all resin infused vinyl ester hull, resin infused vinyl ester stringers, same really complex, you know, hand laid framing system throughout the boat. We've got a lock-in water ballast. It's a flood hull type system, and then we have a Lenco actuator system on the back of that, so it allows us to lock the water in. Resin infusion is just super strong. It's just the same every single time. Every single hull is exactly the same. We know that there's the exact amount of laminate where we need it every time. There's no air. It's hard to do, but we're so confident in the strength of the boats. It's definitely stronger than a hand-laid boat, and it's lighter than a hand-laid boat. We've got 70% fibre ratio in the hull, so it's 70 fibre to 30 resin. Very strong vinyl ester, and that's sort of what brings it back to be able to tow it with a smaller U. So a lot of molds involved in building the center console. We've got the hull mold, obviously the stringers, and a lot of structure inside the boat. We've got a fully molded floor or liner in this boat. So the liner has a lot of storage built into it. We've managed to get quite a bit of storage up in the front of the boat. It's got a fully molded kill tank in the back that is designed to run a Seakeeper 1 in there, and the structure's all in there, so you can always put a Seakeeper in any of these boats later. You don't have to put the structure in, you know, specifically, so it's just a bolt-in item. Console molds, the T-top mold, some really high-tech molding going on in there. We we vacuum bond 2 parts together when we make the T-top, and that's really worked nicely to build a really strong, complex part that really allows us to put all the wiring ducts through it and have a lot of strength where we need it for the top station. The shape of the console is really being developed around being able to work with the top station. So there's a lot of ergonomics there that I had to get right and then sort of work backwards and build it around it. There's enough room downstairs for a toilet. We've got the batteries and all the battery switching up in the front of the console, seat out the front. Yeah, it's designed to be able to put the rods up in the side, rod storage up in the front of the console there. We've done a few new things here with the black finishes. We do all the aluminium work and stainless work all in-house. We've got a really good fabrication team. We played around a little bit on this boat with some Raptor finishes instead of polished, which we're really happy with, and it actually has worked out really. The handrails and grab rails, having grip on them is great in some rough weather. You know, I've noticed that straight away. Really not, you know, Colton's put together some beautiful upholstery for the boat again, as always. Yeah, so we've been working with Nick from East Coast Angling. He had a demo boat, a prototype boat up at Port Douglas all year. He's put, you know, probably 400 hours on it this year, you know, chartering it. And he wants, you know, it's been good, but he's been just giving me the hard, honest truths all year, which has been good for developing the boat. You know, he's really asking a lot from the boat up there. He's quartering into, you know, 25 knot, Port Douglas, steep, short, chop swell. It's horrible and it's really pretty hardcore. So it's been a really good testing ground for the boat. And Nick's he's wanted 32-foot performance out of a 23. So that's been good for us. That's really helped us to drive the design side and improve things on the boat, especially with the console. You know, Nick's boat, it was very wet. We've re-weighted this boat quite a lot. So it's a lot lighter than Nick's boat. The weight's further forward on it. And it just seems to ride, you know, a lot more bow up than Nick's boat. The design up in the front of the boat is really, Nick's had a lot of input into. One of the things that we really wanted up here was, you know, the ability to really get up here and really fight a fish, you know, with that height. With the feedback, you know, working together with Nick, we've just had thousands of hours of, you know, fishing DNA experience come into the design and build of it to really improve the little things that really make a difference on the water, you know, waterproofness, storage, not having something to break your toe on. We'd over-designed a lot of features in that first demo boat, so we've taken away the floor gutters and simplified the bilge system and the draining system, so it's really easy to, you know, get the boat out now, wash it down, pull the bungs, drive home. We've really tried to make everything waterproof on the boat. All the hatches are gutted, you know, and all drained, so everything stays fairly dry in there. We've got all the kill tanks are macerated, so that, you know, they're really set up to, you know, to get fish in there and, you know, chew up any of the rubbish that's left in there at the end of the day. Yeah, first day in the water, and it was great to get to know the boat and really give it a good run. It's 26-degree dead rise, really quite a fine hull. It's got a big bow on it. It's a very aggressive boat. It's aggressive, like you need to drive it aggressively, you know, and it responds well to that. It's very forgiving as well at the same time. It's pretty fun up in the tower. It's a great view. You know, you can't drive at 50 knots up there. It does change the dynamics of the boat a little bit, but it's great for, you know, good weather, you know, anywhere from sort of 30 knots down, you know, the boat speed. It's a lot of fun up there, you know. It's really designed around topwater fishing, being able to see reefs, being able to see bait. You know, it's going to be great fun on bait balls down the south coast. These motors are the F200s, the 2.8 litre 4-strokes. The great benefit of these motors is they're just over 220 kilos. Twins are great. You've got reliability, you've got stability, you've got extra power. Yeah, and just the safety and commercial applications, 2 engines is great. Jumping down from the V6s in the 27, like you just see the instant reduction in fuel costs. Like it's super economical out there. You know, we're getting really good numbers out on the water. 25, 26 knot cruise speed, 3,500 RPM. We're traveling 1.1 kilometers to the litre. So, you know, it's really gives the boat comfortable 500 kilometre range. So this boat, we're running jacking plates. You know, being an early boat, it's really more about just dialing in engine positions. We're running 19-inch Saltwater Series 2 props. Top speed is 87 kilometres an hour. We've got a great relationship with Yamaha. We've been fitting, probably 95% of our engines on the 27s are Yamahas. We worked really closely with them. The new digital steering, digital rigging on every Veitch is standard. We love it. It's just nice not having the hydraulic system, and it's just, the digital steering is incredible. It's very clean, fit up. So instead of having a hydraulic over electronic over hydraulic power, these are actually electronic actuators that do the steering. It's super light. There's a lot of adjustment, lock to lock. I run about 4 turns lock to lock, which I like, but you can run that right out to 7 or 8. You've got the ability to adjust the towing on the water. It just has such a dramatic effect on the ride. Like this boat with no engine tow feels totally different to 2 or 3 degrees engine towing. So it's been great just to be able to adjust that digitally. One of the really cool features about the new Yamaha system is the EKS system, which is basically this, on-off lock remote. So we've done away with the old keys, and that's really nice. And you've just got a push button start. Yeah, the beauty of that, it's really a safety thing. No one can steal your boat. No one can steal your engine, so that's locked. Yeah, so one of the big things that we really do, we do everything in the factory, really extensive fit outs. So we really have the option to put as much as you want into the boat. So, we offer the boats with seat keepers, all kinds of, upholstery. We can get 3 screens on the boat, big transducers. On this boat, we're running zip weight 300s. We've got a control top and bottom, so we can have it set to auto function, so it's just balancing the boat out automatically, or we can just switch it over to manual pitch and roll, and then you really can combat the way the boat's leaning just by turning that dial, which is a beautiful feature, and then bow in, bow up just by scrolling forward and back. Boat's going to suit anyone that doesn't want a hardtop. Look, it's obviously, center consoles are great in warm weather, but I'm finding a lot of fun to fish out of, and a hell of a lot of fun to drive. Something different. Not being in a cab's actually a nice change from a 27. My favourite Veitch boat is, after today, I think is the 23. Yeah.